I thank my friend from Arizona, and I would really just commend to the people that watch C-SPAN, all 14 of them, the greatness of my friend from Arizona and how much he focuses on the spending concerns of our country and the vast amount of debt that we are passing down to our children and grandchildren and what we can do to fix it. He's one of the smartest guys on the subject, and I'm deeply proud to serve alongside him, and I appreciate his time here. I'd actually like to sit here for an hour or two and regale him with charts, but I've got to go do another thing. I am here right now because the American people are demanding that we, the elected leaders in Washington, that we in the people's house, that we secure the elections of the United States. They are tired of wondering whether their vote matters. They are tired of wondering if those who have no right to vote, those who are non-citizens, are actually packing our ballot boxes with illegal votes. I am more determined than ever to secure our elections. But in an age of progressive suicidal empathy, basic concepts such as voter ID and proof of citizenship have been attacked as suppression. Let me be clear, nothing could be further from the truth. Voter ID, voter identification, is arguably the single most common sense proposal to ever grace this chamber. And a proof of citizenship requirement to register to vote is an idea so basic, so assumed, so inherent to a functioning republic that opposition to it would offend every man who signed his name to our Declaration of Independence. I have good news for the American people. No longer will our elections be governed by a checkbox if we do our job in this House chamber and our colleagues in the Senate do their job. No longer will people pretend to be an American and thus influence our elected leaders. No longer will our elections be insecure if we do our job. Last week, I joined with my friend, Senator Mike Lee, in the Senate chamber to introduce a bill that we call the Save America Act. This legislation builds upon bills that we introduced last Congress, the SAVE Act, legislation that was focused on a simple idea of requiring demonstration of citizenship and for states to guarantee that their voter rolls are matched to guarantee citizenship to be able to have an election in that state. We had a simple bill to guarantee that only citizens are voting in American elections. Now we have added another simple concept, voter identification. Under the Save America Act, individuals will be required to provide that proof of citizenship in order to register, and on election day, required to demonstrate voter identification, in accordance, by the way, with a majority of American states. Now, the problem is we passed the SAVE Act. We passed the SAVE Act in the previous Congress, and Chuck Schumer and Democrats stopped it. We passed the SAVE Act in this body last year, in this Congress. And so far, Chuck Schumer and Democrats are saying that they wish to stop it in the Senate. So the question is, what will we do here in this House chamber? And I'm proud to say that our House leadership is working with us to advance the Save America Act as early as next week, to be able to move that bill off of the House floor, to get it sent over to the Senate, and thereby allowing the Senate to be able to move that legislation if the Senate will do what it can do, which is force those who are saying they're to filibuster to actually take the floor of the Senate and filibuster. See, people don't understand Senate rules. They think that the Mr. Smith goes to Washington version of the filibuster is the filibuster. But the truth is, senators for a long time hidden behind the rules to say that there's somehow a magical 60-vote threshold to move legislation through the Senate. There is not. The 60-vote number is simply a fake filibuster, a zombie filibuster, as my friend Mike Lee calls it, meaning it's an arbitrary rule that was put in place to, yes, if you have 60 votes, you can shut off debate. But the core of the Senate, the core of the filibuster, was about people being able to speak. Because on the Senate floor, you can speak, you can vote, or you can be assessing whether you have a quorum. Those are pretty much the things you can do on the Senate floor. So guess what? If you have a quorum, if you have 51 senators sitting on the floor of the Senate demanding action for the American people, such as passing the Save America Act, then you can force the vote unless a member wishes to speak. So if members in the Senate wish to speak against passing a common sense piece of legislation that polls at 80%, then let them do it. Let Democrats go to the floor of the Senate. Let them take the floor. Let them look at 51 Republicans sitting on the Senate floor who want to move a bill that 85% of white Americans, 82% of Hispanic Americans, 76% of black Americans, 71% of Democrats, and 95% of Republicans believe we should pass so we can have security in our elections. We can pass the Save America Act. We will do that in the House chamber next week. We will have citizenship. We will have voter ID. We will send it to the Senate. And if the Senate does its job, if Senate Republicans put this on the floor on the Senate, then we can force action and force Democrats to stand up on the Senate floor and oppose the will of over 3/4 of the American people. I want to see them try. I think if we do it, I think we'll win, and I think we'll save this republic and we'll save America. And with that, I will yield back to my good friend from Arizona.
Thank you, Chip. And look, you are an incredible leader and passionate on this. And it is absurd that something that America desperately wants has been this difficult for the Democrats, particularly in the Senate. And look, how many Democrats, when we passed it out of the House before, voted with us?
Well, we had last year 5 Democrats join with us, and this year 4 Democrats join with us. I think there'll be pressure for a number of Democrats to join with us here and in the Senate.
Let's save America. Let's protect our elections. And I'll give you one last concept from being someone from Arizona. How do you protect a republic if your citizens don't trust the institutions, don't trust elections? So even if you're uncomfortable with the legislation, which I have no idea why you would be, defend the institution by passing a piece of legislation that actually raises the level of faith and trust in our elections. How can it not be amazingly good for this republic?
I want to yield the gentleman his time, but I will just add and close by saying we sit here in this chamber under the In God We Trust motto. We sit here in front of this flag. We think about all of the people who came before us to sacrifice for this country. This is the most basic of things we can do to restore trust in a Republican form of government where representatives are sent to Washington to represent them. They have to believe in it. They have to believe in us. They have to believe in the country. And what more can you do besides guaranteeing that their vote counts by ensuring that it is only citizens voting our elections? And I thank my friend from Arizona.
Thanks, Chip. I know you got to get out of here.
God bless you, brother.
Thanks. Mr. Speaker,